because MyHeritage can still find new family members and like records for your ancestors. The site literally puts 18 plus billion records right at your fingertips. I became interested in family history because I'm actually not very close with my dad's side of the family. I don't know a lot about that side of my family, so I absolutely loved being able to go through and find pictures and information about that side of my family. I got to see like information about my great grandparents and my great great grandparents on my dad's side of the family. I actually came across some really cool pictures as well. This really cool picture of my grandpa, who I didn't ever realize looked so much like my son. And it's really cool to like find a picture of someone who looks like your child, you know? Anyways, some of the old pictures I found that had been uploaded to MyHeritage, I was able to kind of play with. You can colorize photos, which just gives them like a whole different feel. In college, which I didn't know this, my grandpa was on his like college, their dance team. So I found a picture of him on the dance team and I was able to colorize it, and I am obsessed with how it turned out and how easy it was to do. I also found this photo of my grandpa, again from his college days, and I used the animation tool on MyHeritage to create this awesome photo animation. Sign up for a free 14-day trial and enjoy all of the amazing features MyHeritage has to offer. If you decide to continue your subscription, you will get a 50% discount using the code down below. So go check it out. I know you guys will love this. Okay, let's go ahead and get into our case today. Today's case begins in 1992 with a couple named Arnold Archambault and Ruby Bruere. Ruby Bruere was born on January 11th, 1974. She grew up in Lake Andes, South Dakota, and she came from a very large family. She had 5 brothers and 2 sisters. And growing up, Ruby was described as being just this very kind, loving girl who had a great sense of humor. She went to school at Andes Central School, and this was where she met Arnold Archambault, who was a year older than her in school. He was also a native of South Dakota. He had been raised with his 2 sisters by their single mother, and when he was 13, his mother actually passed away. And once his mom died, he moved in with his aunt Karen, his mom's sister, who raised him and his sisters. So Ruby and Arnold meet, and they just instantly had a connection. They were attracted to each other, and they began dating. And quickly, their relationship turned very serious. When Ruby was 17, she became pregnant and had a little girl. So this was in 1991. And babysit Erica so they could get a night out without their baby. They spent the night with Ruby's cousin, stopping at different bars, different parties, and around 6 a.m., the three of them went back to Ruby's cousin's house, and Ruby's cousin's name is Tracy. So Tracy, Ruby, and Arnold had all been hanging out all night. Tracy's father was the one babysitting Erica, so they go to pick Erica up, and he can tell they've all been drinking, and he's like, you know what? Why don't you guys go get some food? Like, sober up a little bit before we wake her up and send her home. So Ruby and Arnold and Tracy all leave. Arnold was driving, and Ruby and Tracy were in the car. They were just outside of the Yankton reservation. And according to Tracy, Arnold is approaching this intersection. There's a stop sign, but there was no one coming, and so he decides he's just gonna blow through this intersection, and instead of slowing down or even stopping, he just continues to accelerate. Now remember, it's winter in South Dakota. It was a freezing night. There was a lot of ice on the roads, and within seconds of him kind of entering this intersection, Arnold lost control of the car. It spun out and came to rest upside down in a nearby ditch. Tracy remembers the accident. She remembers kind of coming to and hearing Ruby cry, and hearing Ruby say, "Oh my God, oh my God." Tracy is kind of trying to make sense of what's going on. She looks around and realizes she and Ruby are the only ones in the car. Now, she's in shock. She's confused. She doesn't know if Arnold was like thrown from the car during the accident or if he got out while she was still passed out. So Ruby begins trying to get out of the car, which is like completely crushed. But somehow Ruby gets out, and then Ruby just kind of disappears. Tracy kept waiting for Ruby to come around and help her get out of the car, but she actually never heard anything once Ruby got out of the car. She didn't hear voices, just nothing. A few minutes later, police and EMS arrive on the scene of the accident, and they quickly get Tracy out of the car. She was still in shock and like very disoriented, but she fully expected to see Ruby and Arnold once she was safely out of the car. But they were nowhere to be found. Tracy was dumbfounded that they had left her, and she couldn't figure out where they would have gone. The area of the crash was mostly just farmland. There were a few houses, but the town wasn't super far away, so it was possible they had walked to town. But it was well below freezing this night, like the temperatures were in the single digits. So they would have frozen to death if they were outside for any significant amount of time. Police searched the area, but they found no trace of Arnold or Ruby. And when they didn't find them, they weren't super concerned because Tracy had told officers they had all been drinking. So police believed they had taken off, kind of fled the scene to avoid a DUI charge. Police did not pass Ruby and Arnold while they were driving accident. So they started to look around just to make sure they weren't out there hurt somewhere. They did check some of like the frozen ice nearby. One thought was maybe they had tried to walk to get help and fallen through nearby ice, but they saw no evidence ice had been broken through anywhere. Police assumed that once Arnold and Ruby had sobered up, they would show back up. But days went by and there was no sign of Arnold and Ruby. Day after day, week after week passed, and Arnold and Ruby were just gone. No one had any contact with them. And remember, their daughter was at Ruby's uncle's house, and they just never showed back up for her. While Ruby was like a very young mother, she was 100% devoted to her daughter. She absolutely loved her, and she wasn't the type to disappear. Ruby was breastfeeding Erica at the time, so her not showing up, knowing she was the source of food for her daughter, this type of behavior was just very out of character for Ruby and Arnold. And police even came out and publicly stated that Ruby and Arnold wouldn't be in trouble if they showed back up. There were no warrants, nothing, hoping the couple would reappear. But they never did. All of the local people began looking for the couple. There were searches. A reward was set up or raised for information in their disappearance. But this didn't bring in any tips or leads. The couple had literally just vanished. 3 months later, on March 10th, 1993, this guy was driving near the intersection where Arnold's car had spun out. And he just happened to look over, and out of the corner of his eye, he saw something off the side of the road that looked like a body. So police were notified and they rushed to the scene, and in a ditch 75 feet from where the accident had happened 3 months earlier, they found the body of Ruby Bruyere. At the time, they weren't actually able to positively ID her because of the advanced state of decomposition, but she was later identified because of an ankle tattoo that she had that said love. When her remains were found, she was wearing the exact same clothes that she had been wearing the night of the accident. Although strangely, Ruby's glasses and shoes were not found at the scene. The night of the accident, it had been freezing cold, just like a brutally cold, frozen South Dakota night. But now it was spring, and the area where the car had flipped over was no longer just ice. It had melted, and the ditch was filled with water. So police began to suspect that Arnold's body was also in the area. So they began to drain the ditch. And in that ditch, less than 24 hours after Ruby's remains were found, and about 15 feet from where she was found, Arnold's remains were also discovered. And this is where our case takes a very strange turn. Arnold and Ruby were in very different states of decomposition when they were discovered. Ruby was very advanced state of decomp, but Arnold's skin color was normal. His body had not been frozen to the ground, like there was no evidence he had ever been frozen to the ground, meaning he likely hadn't been there since the accident. His body was actually very quickly identified because he wasn't very decomposed yet. Another really weird thing was that Arnold was wearing different clothes than what he had been wearing the night of the accident. Both sets of remains were sent to the coroner's office for an autopsy to be performed, and the families were notified of the discovery. Investigators were hoping that a cause of death would help wrap up the case and give the families some closure, but the autopsy results really kind of only left investigators with more questions. The coroner was actually unable to determine a time of death for Ruby and Arnold. Now, I've talked about this a little bit before, but let's talk for a second about the difference between a medical examiner and a coroner. So, a medical examiner has to undergo medical training. They have to study pathology in order to get a license and become a medical examiner, whereas a coroner does not. And I guess it's pretty common, particularly in the 80s and 90s, to have a coroner in small towns where there was relatively low crime rate versus the state paying for a medical examiner. So, in this area, they had a coroner. So the coroner has less training. This coroner was unable to determine a time of death or really kind of a cause of death. The cause of death was listed as exposure. So he determined they both died from exposure. One of the investigators on this case, a deputy named Longstrand, did not agree with this cause of death. He, really believed that foul play was involved. In an interview with Unsolved Mysteries, he said, quote, "Death by exposure is like they froze to death. I cannot actually buy that. They may have froze to death, but they didn't freeze to death in that ditch. It's impossible that they could have been there the entire 3 months. I, myself, personally walked along that ditch several times during the period they were missing. I have gotten several written affidavits from people who have also walked along the ditch, people who have nothing to do with the case. They couldn't have been there. They couldn't have been missed." So, everything would have been frozen at the time of the accident, and if their bodies had been there, they would have been found on top of the ice in the ditch. The bodies wouldn't have been in the water where they were found. They would have been on top because there was inches of ice. Another thing that really baffled Deputy Youngstrom were these 2 items that were found that really kind of seemed to support the theory that Arnold and Ruby had not died in that ditch. He said, quote, "We found a tuft of hair alongside the road. The hair was later determined by a forensic laboratory to belong to Ruby. The hair wouldn't have stayed on this side of the road through all the winter storms for 3 months. In my opinion, it was when whoever brought the bodies back to the ditch is when that piece of hair fell off of Ruby. At the time we pulled Arnold's body from the ditch, I found a set of keys in his pocket. The keys were of a car or vehicle key and what appeared to be 2 house keys. I still have these keys in my possession, and to this day, I have not found the vehicle nor the house that fits these keys. So soon after the bodies were discovered, some witnesses came forward. One witness came forward and claimed to have seen Arnold along with 3 other people on New Year's Eve, which was 3 weeks after the accident. This witness was brought in, interviewed, given a polygraph, and she passed the polygraph with flying colors. Another witness came forward and told police that she had seen Ruby and Arnold get into a car after the accident, and then the car headed east. Another witness told police she had seen Ruby in a nearby town at the end of January. But no one could figure out how Ruby and Arnold's bodies would have ended up back in the same ditch that they had crashed in months earlier. Ruby's father, Quentin Bruyere, said he has his own theory. He told Unsolved Mysteries, quote, "They had to die someplace. Somebody had to come and put them back in there again to make it look like that's how they died." Now there are some theories in this case, the first one being that Ruby and Arnold had some sort of amnesia following the crash, and they wandered away and they didn't know and don't know who they are. The problem with this theory is they lived in a super small town and everyone was very aware that they were missing. So even if they both happened to get amnesia, what are the chances that they wandered around town going to these New Year's Eve parties and no one recognized them? And if that happened and they did get amnesia, how did their bodies end up back in the ditch? Most people do believe that foul play was involved in this case. But what exactly happened? Were they taken from the scene and held hostage somewhere? How were they killed? It was ruled exposure, but it's possible they were killed another way because their death is very questionable due to the state of decomposition, particularly for Ruby. But the more time that goes by between the death and the autopsy, the harder it is to find out exactly how they died. Another theory is that someone saw the accident happen, pulled up and picked up Ruby and Arnold, and they were both kind of dazed from the accident, and then something happened, the person who picked them up had bad intentions for the couple. Now, Tracy told police she didn't hear anyone talking, she didn't hear any vehicles approaching. She heard nothing once Ruby was out of the car. So a lot of people discount the theory that someone else approached and abducted Ruby and Arnold. Tracy does, however, admit that she was knocked out during the crash, at least once during the accident, and she was in shock herself, so maybe she was so hyper-focused on what was going on inside the car that she wasn't really paying attention to what was happening on the outside of the car. The keys in this case are also a big unanswered question. Whose keys were in Arnold's pocket when he was found. Like, the keys did not belong to his car. The house keys didn't belong to anyone that he was related to or affiliated with. So how does he end up with just this random set of keys in his pocket? Another theory, which is more of like a rumor that really spread around town, was that Ruby and Arnold were abducted from the crash site by a man named Harold Lewis Young and held captive in his cabin north of Lake Andes. This rumor says they were killed at the cabin and then brought back to the scene of the accident as a way to cover up the crime. This man, police were made aware of this rumor. I have no idea how seriously they looked into it. He does have a very lengthy criminal record, but there's not really any information that I could find about if he was looked into, if he had an alibi, or anything like that. There were 2 unknown possible persons of interest in the case at one point. Both had been seen near the site of the accident just after the bodies were discovered. The 2 men were driving a dark Chevy Blazer, but this was like all the information police released at the time, and they were never able to track down or ID the men. And this is kind of all of the information we have in this case. 7 years after the couple went missing, the FBI officially closed the case due to a lack of evidence that a crime took place. Like, they had no evidence a crime took place, so it was eventually closed. And that's kind of where we are left. Ruby and Arnold's little girl, Erica, was raised by the families of the couple, so she stayed with the families. Remember, Ruby was from a very big family, but they both had close family and extended family involved in the raising of Erica. And that is it for this case.